Hey friend, so no matter how fancy your recording software is, how many fancy plugins you have, or cool editing techniques you use, your recordings won't come out as good unless you follow these three simple rules. And these three rules are something you can use as a beginner, intermediate, or advanced, something you're always having to think about in the recording process. Let's discuss. Rule number one, do not clip your music, okay? So what does this mean? This means do not set your levels so that they are too loud, and then in the loudest part of the song, whether it's drums, vocals, it clips, causes distortion. This is something you can't fix. So how do you fix this in your mix? You have your person that's going to be playing that part, or yourself, play the loudest part of this song and then adjust your levels accordingly on the front of your interface, and that will ensure that you do not clip for that instrument. Rule number two, make sure your instrument is in tune. I can't tell you how many students I've coached that they get this really cool take, but the guitar is out of tune or the drums don't really sound good. So just spend a little extra time to make sure your instrument is in tune. And I mean all instruments. So electric guitars, I'll usually tune those 2 to 3 times just to make sure everything is perfectly in tune. Your drums, make sure the drums are tuned before you start recording. Also your voice, if you are singing, make sure that you're properly warmed up and you know all of your parts really well, because you don't want to be spending time wasting not knowing the lines and then you're singing them out of tune. So rehearse beforehand. It's so essential to make sure. And then the last is bass, okay? So bass guitar, if the bass is slightly off tune, even a couple cents, everything above the bass sonically won't sound correct if the bass is off tune. So make sure your instruments are in tune. Hey guys, if you don't know me, my name is Eric, and I help home studio owners and guitar players record and write amazing music. And I have a free guide for you. If you're interested, click the link in the description below. It's a 5-step home recording guide. It'll get you set up, how to set up your home studio and get some great sounds. Visit millermusic.co or click the link in the description below. Okay, finally, rule number 3 is like the golden rule of recording, and that is so simple and so musical. Make sure you have a great tone dialed in before you hit record. Nothing is worse than you get a great guitar take all the way through, but you realize that you don't like the sound and you kind of have to scrap the whole take because the tone isn't right. Or same thing with the mic placement on the acoustic guitar. You know, you have a bad mic placement and the tone doesn't sound right. Or even the actual mic that you're using for vocals. So what is the solution for this? The solution I always find is spend a little extra time up front in your recordings to make sure you have a good tone. So that may mean finding the right mic for vocals, dialing the right tone for your electric guitars, placing the mic in the right spot for your acoustic guitars. If you're playing keys, dialing in the right patch ahead of time, and then record maybe just a couple measures or 30 seconds of that, and then listen back, and then make sure you're happy with that before going forward. This will help you so much in the long run by spending a little more time up front to make sure you have a great tone before you finalize and record the whole thing. So these 3 things I'm constantly thinking about when I'm recording my own music or recording and working with students or other people that come to the studio. Again, I encourage you to download my free 5-step home recording guide, and I'll see you in the next video.